Greetings, everybody, and once again, welcome to Hobart-Detter Field in Hutchinson, Kansas. It's time for Hutchinson Community College baseball. This afternoon, a Jayhawk West doubleheader featuring the 11-8 Blue Dragons and the 15-5 in first place Butler Grizzlies. I'm Steve Carpenter. Thanks for joining us on a very gorgeous but wind-blown afternoon. If you were with us 24 hours ago, it was wind-blown and 52 runs came across the plate as Hutchinson outlasted North Iowa Area Community College by a record score of 28-24. But that was 24 hours ago, and now the Dragons need to lock in and chase down the first place Butler Grizzlies. Hutchinson 4-4 in conference play, losing 3 of 4 to Colby in the opening weekend conference play. And then last week, dropping the series opener to Cloud County, but rallying to win the next 3. They are 4-4. Butler comes in with a 7-1 record. They come off a sweep of Garden City last week. 2 1-1 games on last Thursday, and then the Butler Grizzlies at Garden City dominated by the scores of 8-2 and 13-7. And then Butler took 3 of 4 on opening weekend from Dodge City. So the Grizzlies riding high at 15-5, and Hutchinson coming in at 4-4 in the league. 11-8 overall, winners of 4 straight. Pitching matchup in game number 1, a pair of right-handers for the Blue Dragons. It'll be Mason Palmier, 1-1 record with 1.23 ERA. He'll be opposed by Butler right-hander Zach Billick, a 2-1 record. Plenty to talk about with Ryan Schmidt. We'll have that conversation after this break. This is Blue Dragon Baseball. Welcome back to Hobart-Detter Field. Steve Carpenter speaking with the skipper of the Blue Dragons, Ryan Schmidt, before this conference opener with the Butler Grizzlies. Schmidt, we got to go back to yesterday. That game, we could probably talk for the next 2 hours about that game. 28-24 over Nyack yesterday, 18-14 after 2 innings. From an offensive standpoint, there was nothing that wasn't done. From a pitching standpoint, there was nothing that wasn't done. From your standpoint, what was it like for you?
Looking back on it now, I'm just happy we won. There was a lot of positives to take away from that game. There's a lot of negatives to take away from that game. But in the end, we got the W, and that's what we set out to do. And our guys competed very well in some spots, and there were some spots where we didn't compete well. And there's some times we played defense really, really well, and then there's some times we, didn't make plays. And so we just don't dwell on it. We don't spend too much time on it. You and I are going to kick around those stories for a long, long time. But for right now, we're just going to, we got to set our sights on Butler and what we got to do today.
Yeah. 2 carryovers from yesterday to today. Let's talk injuries a little bit. Bobby Morganson didn't play yesterday. Wyatt Divis left the game early with an injury. So give us an update on those 2 players.
Wyatt Divis is going to be unavailable today, which is like losing 2 players, and Bobby Morganson will be available today. So we lose 1 and gain 1. We held Bob out for precautionary reasons yesterday. Wyatt Divis got overextended on a slide and has got a little hamstring thing going on. So we got to get that figured out, and Ryan Hilty and the staff will do a great job in getting him back on the field just as soon as his body will allow him to.
Speaking with Ryan Schmidt before this afternoon series opener with Butler. First place Butler, they come in 7-1, playing very well. They really took it to Garden City last week and put themselves in position. Now for you, it's a matter of being 3 games back of them. It's a matter of keeping them within striking distance this weekend.
No doubt. I mean, it gives our team a great opportunity. First of all, we get the first doubleheader at home. So we get to play in the friendly confines here and where we're comfortable and give us everything that we can handle. They're playing very, very well. They're playing fundamentally sound. They're not making mistakes. They're pitching at a high level. And after after the two series that they've played, obviously going to be a very formidable opponent for us.
So with everything yesterday, you didn't extend your top line bullpenners that much. So pitching wise, how are you set up for the week?
We got Mason Palmier going in game one, and then we will put Matt Hopkins into the 2 slot, who's been throwing really, really well out of the bullpen for us. And so that's going to be the change that we made. But we've got Dayton Lane ready to go. We've got Dylan Nedved ready to go. We've got Ryan Summers ready to go. We're fully ready to go as far as our pitching staff is, as far as our front end guys, and it's gonna take a bit of everything that they got with another windy day.
We're about a month into this season now. What's been your most pleasant surprise, and what's been kind of your biggest shock?
The biggest shock is that I think we haven't advanced as fast as I would like us to advance, but I think we're on the upswing right now. We're finding ways to win. That's uncommon in a young team. We're usually you have to go through those growing pains to find ways to win, but we're always in there. And if we didn't shoot ourselves in the foot so much, we'd make this game a little bit easier on ourselves. But pleasant surprises is just how everybody's contributing. I think the big thing for us is trying to bring this family together and bring this team together under one roof, under one approach, and everything that we do. And we're working on that, and I think it's starting to pay off, and hopefully it'll pay off today.
Best of luck. Let's get a couple. We'll talk to you on Saturday.
Thank you very much.
The thoughts of HCCA coach Ryan Schmidt back with the starting lineups and this afternoon's opening pitch. This is Blue Dragon Baseball. And it's going to be a really quick break. The umpires are out early, so let's get to the starting lineups for this first game of this 4-game set between the Blue Dragons and the Grizzlies. For Butler, 15-5, 7-1 overall. Patrick Bethea will lead it off and play center field. Keon Gibbons bats second and plays shortstop. Batting third is the third baseman, Javier Pena. Batting fourth is Connor Hurst. He plays left field. First baseman Jackson Soule bats fifth. Alex Bro bats sixth and is the catcher. Jack Mackey bats seventh and is the designated hitter. Mason Goat plays second base. He bats eighth. And Garrett Chalker plays right field, batting ninth. Again, Zach Billick, a right-hander with a 2-1 record, gets the start for Butler. So for B.J. McVeigh's Grizzlies, it's Bethea, Gibbons, Pena, Hurst, Soule, Bro, Mackey, Goat, Chalker, and Zach Billick on the mound. For the Blue Dragons, 11-8 overall, 4-4 in league play. Dylan Nedved will lead it off and play shortstop. Batting second and playing second base, Logan Sartori. Bobby Morganson back in the lineup today. He bats third and plays left field. Batting cleanup and doing the catching is Garrett Stevens. Zach Baxley bats fifth and is at first base. Riley Metzger bats sixth. He is the designated hitter, coming up a 2-home-run game yesterday. Zion Bolin plays right field and bats seventh. Center fielder Brock Schaefer bats eighth, and Ryan Moritz is at third base, batting ninth. Mason Palmier with a 1-1 record, a 1.23 ERA, is your starting pitcher. So for Ryan Schmidt's Blue Dragons, it is Nedved, Sartori, Morganson, Stevens, Baxley, Metzger, Bolin, Schaefer, and Moritz with Mason Palmier on the mound. The Dragons being announced. We're close to having the starting lineup in this afternoon's first pitch. Temperatures going to be in the high 70s, but that wind still howling straight out of the south, which means it's going dead out to center field. We could have some more offensive fireworks before this one is over. Yesterday's games, records all kind, pro and con being set. Hutchinson's 28 runs, the most scored in a game. The 24 runs given up, the most against the Blue Dragons in a game. There were 15 combined home runs. That was a record. The 9 allowed, a most given up by a Blue Dragon staff. And the Blue Dragons team ERA jumped up 77 points to 5.88. Time for the national anthem. When we return, this afternoon's first pitch, this is Blue Dragon Baseball. our national anthem from Hobart-Detter Field. And Mason Palmier gets set to take his first warm-up tosses on the mound this afternoon. Palmier is 6'3", 185-pound redshirt freshman from St. Louis, Missouri. Coming in with a record of 1-1 and a 1.23 ERA. Palmier making his fifth start of the season. He has one complete game. Palmier has worked 22 innings to this point in the season. He's allowed 18 hits, 6 runs, 3 earned. He has struck out 13 and walked 2, and opponents hitting a cool .212 against him. So Mason Palmier will try to help the Blue Dragons extend their winning streak to 5. But they come in facing a Butler team that is first place in the Jayhawk West, coming off a sweep of Garden City. That in and of itself, very impressive. Last time out against Mason Palmier, he took the loss in a 3-0 setback. That was the game where Eric Sadowski of Cloud County struck out 18 Blue Dragons in a 7-inning game. Hutchinson lost that game 3-0. Palmier threw well, only allowed 7 hits, 3 runs, only 1 earned, but he struck out 3 and walked only 2. He faces a very fast lineup, and the catalyst of that lineup is center fielder Patrick Bethea. Plenty of speed for Bethea, and plenty of speed at the top of this order. So here we go. First pitch swing, and that one's lined to the gap in left center field, down for a hit. Brock Schaefer gets over to cut it off, and Patrick Bethea collects his 21st hit. Now he's got 8 stolen bases, and the first pitch coming right at 2 p.m. So there's Keon Gibbons. Gibbons, a .274 hitter with 26 hits, a home run, and 10 RBIs. Palmier's pitch at the knees for strike 1. Again, the wind blowing straight out. That will play into this all afternoon long. There's a bunt. One hopper back to Palmier. His only play will be to first. And the out is made. A sacrifice 1-3 as Bethea moves up to second. And Butler has its first runner in scoring position for the third baseman, Javier Pena. Pena on fire right now, hitting an even .500, 34 for 68, 5 doubles, 7 triples already, and 28 RBIs. No home runs for Pena. Strike inside corner from Palmier. Pena's getting on base plenty. His on base percentage is .598. His slugging percentage is .1044. Already a season in just a little over a month. Pitch misses low and away from Palmier, and it's 1-1 to Pena. Pena's already scored 36 runs. He's stolen 14 of 16 bases. So the Dragons would be good to keep him off the base paths today and throughout the entire weekend. 1-1 pitch. Strike called, 1-2. Welcome to all the Butler fans checking in, including Butler Sports Information Director Matt Jacobs. Time called. Matt and I are 2 of the longer tenured SIDs in the league. That would be correct, Denny. Thank you very little. 1-2 pitch. Just off the plate. Palmier didn't get the call, 2-2. That last statement brought to you by AARP and Denny Steckline, a charter member. Palmier gives a look at second, now delivers the 2-2 to Pena. Pitching on the hands, popped up, and it's back out of play. With the wind the way it is, the infielders and catcher Garrett Stevens are going to have to keep an eye on it. As strong as the wind is, that could blow back into playable territory. Once again, the 2-2 from Palmier. Foul off again by Pena. It's been a roller coaster ride for these Blue Dragons so far. It took 2 of 3 from Coffeyville to start the season, then lost 2 of 3 at Northwest Texas. They went on to win 4 in a row, including the series opener. Hot shot, that's going to get up the middle. Rounding third is Bethea. He will score easily, and Butler's on top 1-0. What's new? The Dragons behind early again. So on a 2-2 pitch, in which Pena fought off a couple of 2-strike pitches, he delivers an RBI single and drives in his 29th of the year. Now left fielder Connor Hurst. Big lead over there by Pena. The pitch, pulled foul. As a team, Butler already has 85 steals and 99 attempts. Givens with 21, Pena with 14 to lead the way. And pitch misses, and it's 1-1. The running game has been a trademark of B.J. McVay Butler teams throughout his tenure. B.J. now in his 8th year. It's a big cut and a miss. And Palmier's up in the count 1-2 on Hurst. Runner fakes. Now Palmier steps off, and they call the balk. Didn't think he broke contact, so a balk called on Mason Palmier. That's the first balk Palmier has had this year. That's the third by a Dragon pitcher in 2018. So another slow start for the Dragons. Did he go around? Yes, he did. Garrett Stevens tags him out. A strikeout of Hurst, now 2-away. And that'll bring up first baseman Jackson Soule. Soule hitting .381. 24 overall hits and 63 at-bats. 7 doubles, no home runs, 16 driven in. 1-0 Butler and an RBI single by Javier Pena. Palmier delivers one right down the chute for strike 1. Wyatt Divis not available today. He hurt himself sliding yesterday. Hoped to be back for Saturday. And Bobby Morganson back in the lineup after not playing yesterday. Pretty good looking pitch, but a ball called. It was over the corner, but if it was anywhere, it was a bit low. That was a pretty good pitcher's pitch right there not to get a strike called. Now the 1-1. It might have been a makeup call. Stevens framed it pretty well, and it's 1-2 to Soule. Pena away from second. The 1-2 pitch. Slice foul. Butler as a team hitting .326. They have 25 home runs this year. They scored their 194th run of the season. I talked about the 85 stolen bases. 1-2 pitch. Called strike 3 outside corner. And minimal damage done. Butler gets 1 run, 2 hits, and leaves 1. And after a half inning, it's the Grizzlies 1 and the Dragons coming up. Right-hander Zach Billick taking his warm-up tosses. Billick, a 6', 200-pound sophomore from Shawnee, Kansas, making his 5th start, 6th overall appearance for the Grizzlies, 2-1 record with 5.94 earned run average. Billick has worked 16 2/3 innings to this point. 18 hits allowed, 13 runs, 11 earned. He has struck out 20 and walked 10 and has allowed 2 home runs. He faces the Blue Dragon lineup hitting .323 after that offensive onslaught yesterday. 28 home runs for the Dragons, and Dylan Nedved will lead it off. A 4-hit game yesterday for Nedved, his 2nd of the year. The first pitch from Billick is low and outside, ball 1. Up-to-date numbers on Dylan Nedved, now hitting .392 with 29 total hits. 4 doubles, a triple, 10 RBIs, 15 runs scored, on base of .423. Good pitch from Billick on the outside corner, and it's a ball on the strike. Dragons trail 1-0, an RBI single by Javier Pena in the top of the first. Strike called, same location, same pitch, and now Nedved down in the count, a ball and 2 strikes.
Tim Olson tweeted earlier this morning, he wanted to know if yesterday's game was played on the moon.
The 1-2 pitch in the hands. Former Blue Dragon player and 2018 Hall of Fame inductee Tim Olson was inquiring if that 28-24 game yesterday was played on the moon. The way the balls were leaving the park, one might think so. The 1-2, curveball, grounded up the middle. Shortstop Gibbons gets to it, pours it across in time to retire Nedved. One away for second baseman Logan Sartori. Logan was one of the Dragons who hit home runs yesterday. He was a calm, cool, and collected 4 for 6. 4 RBIs for Sartori. That was a season high. 4 runs scored. That tied a Blue Dragon single game record, becoming the 12th player to do so. Sartori now hitting a team high .408 as he takes that pitch from Billick low and away. 29 hits for Sartori in 71 at bats. 9 doubles, 2 triples, 4 homers, and 20 driven in. Sartori takes one high and tight, 2-0. Sartori, .482 on base percentage, slugging at a .761 clip. And to add to everything, he also has 4 stolen bases in 4 attempts. Ball 3. The disparity in the running game between these two teams is astonishing, and I think you can say that about any team right now. Butler having 85. The Dragons have only stolen 21 in 25 attempts. Here's a cripple to Sartori, and it's a 4-pitch walk to the Dragons' second baseman. 1 on, 1 out for left fielder Bobby Morganson. Bobby didn't play yesterday, out for precautionary measures. But Morganson steps in, hitting .381 with 4 home runs and 15 driven in. Bobby's only had 5 hits in his last 6 games. Average has dropped to .381. It was at a high of .455 back on March 3rd. That was his last multi-hit game. Runner goes. Breaking pitch is taken low, and Sartori steals his 5th base of the year without a throw. Picked the right pitch to go on, and Alex Bro didn't even pull the trigger because of the great jump gotten by Logan Sartori. Now the tying run at second base with 1 out. Inside 2-0, that's 6 in a row out of the zone for Billick. Bobby Morganson against right-handed pitching this year, hitting .415. He's .318 against lefties. Those numbers are actually flipped around 1 year ago. 2-0. Bobby had the green light and swung and missed. Count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. Still plenty of baseball left to be played in this league season, but this being the third conference go-around for everybody, the Dragons don't want to fall any further behind than they are the 3 games out. I thought line drive to right field down for a hit. Chalker gets to it. They will put the brakes on Nedved. He had to wait to see if Chalker would come up with the catch, so he could only advance to third. But a solid line drive single by Morganson puts Blue Dragons on the corners with 1 out for catcher Garrett Stevens. Garrett didn't play in that nutty game yesterday, stepping in with a .314 average, 11 hits and 35 at bats, 2 doubles and 9 RBIs. The Dragons already have 7 players with 10 or more RBIs in this game number 20. A pretty astonishing offensive number. That one's hit toward the gap in right center field and down. This will at least tie it up. Bethea gets to it. Morganson chugs for third. Big turn at first by Stevens, but he turns around. RBI single for Garrett Stevens, his 10th RBI of the year. We're tied at 1. The speed of Bethea kept this game tied. He was playing more toward the pull side. So prevented the go-ahead run, at least for now. So still Dragons at the corners, 1 away for Zach Baxley. Breaking pitch way outside, gets past. Coming down the line is Morganson. There might be a play at the plate wide. Now the throw gets away and headed for third is Stevens. He's in safely. It'll be a wild pitch and then an error on the catcher, Bro, allowing Stevens to go to third. So the Dragons take a 2-1 lead on a wild pitch and then a throwing error. And we'll have a quick conference on the mound. So the Dragons, like they did yesterday against Nyack, jumping on the opposition once the opposition has scored. That run, that second run, is a earned run. Either way, the Dragons lead it 2-1. Now Stevens at third for Baxley. Bax hitting an even 300, 15 for 50, 3 doubles, 3 triples, 3 homers, and 11 driven in. Infield back for the Grizzlies. Another wild pitch, bounces all the way back to the screen. Stevens scores to make it 3-1. So back-to-back wild pitches. Allows 2 runs to score, and it's a 2-0 count on Zach Baxley. So now the bases are empty. Still just 1 out and 3 runs already across. They look back to the windup. And delivers a strike at the knees. 2-1 the count to Zach Baxley. Baxley is yesterday 2 for 3, a couple of RBIs, including a triple. He takes the ball and it's 3-1. Baxley's had multi-hit games in 2 of his last 5. He was 2 for 5 against Seminole State. Swings and misses there, and it's a full count. Overall, Baxley's average before the Cloud County game dropped to 277, or after the Cloud County series dropped to 277, but yesterday brought it up to an even 300. And he draws a 1-out walk here. The second walk surrendered by Zach Billick. So the first 5 batters, 4 have reached, 3 have scored. And now designated hitter Riley Metzger. All Metzger did yesterday was homer twice and drive in 6, which was tied for the 4th most single-game RBIs in team history. Last time somebody drove in 6 was 2 years ago when Caden Doge drove in 6 against Garden City. Pitch way outside. 21 pitches, only 9 in the zone for Billick. So the Dragons need to be patient. Metzger now hitting .350. 7 for 20, 3 doubles, 3 home runs, 10 driven in. Move over to first. Close play. Ball gets away from Jackson Soule, but it was knocked down by the base runner Baxley. Each team now with 2 hits. The 1-0. Off the plate wide, and it's 2-0 to Metzger. Zion Boland's next. Soleil comes set and delivers. Riley taking all the way. It's a strike, and it's 2-1. The series will reconvene Saturday at McDonald Stadium in El Dorado to play the final 2 games of this series. Danny Steckline will have the call. Runner goes from first. The pitch is a ball. The throw down, and they got him. Taking the throw is Mason Goad, and Zach Baxley is cut down stealing for the second out of the inning. 3-1 the count to Riley Metzger. That was Baxley's first steal attempt of the year. Metzger swings him, fouls off. Runs the count full to 3-2 in what has become a 25-pitch inning for Zach Billick. Butler's team ERA is 6.34. Metzger hits one high to left. Hurst now coming in after dropping back a few steps, makes the catch. And the Dragons are done in the first, but a good turn. They get the 1 back in the top and get 2 more. 3 runs, 2 hits, 1 error, and 1 left on base. We've completed 1 inning. Our new score, the Dragons 3 and the Grizzlies 1. Alex Bruff to lead it off. Sorry about that spike. Bruff had a rough, pardon the pun. Yes. Rough top or bottom of the first, blocking all those pitches. Fouls that first one off.
There's a new commercial with him on that.
Yeah, I saw that. Here's the 0-1. That's a line shot to left that gets down for a hit. So Bruff, 286 coming in, collects his 13th hit of the year. And it's just not advisable for pitchers to get anything up right now because everything is getting hit hard. Here's the designated hitter, Jack Mackey. Spelled M-A-K-I. 348 average for Mackey, 16 hits and 46 at bats, 4 doubles and 10 RBIs hitting from the left side. Second straight Grizzly leadoff hitter to reach. High chopper, and Baxley can't go up to get it. And dribbles into right field. And it'll be an error on Baxley. So the Dragon fielding woes continue to hurt. Bruff stops at second. And it's 2 on to start the second inning for the Grizzlies. Now second baseman Mason Goad. Goad hitting .348, no home runs, 7 RBIs, 2 doubles, 16 total hits. Already scored 17 runs. Showing bunt is Goad. Now the throw back behind, gets into center field. Runners will move up, the second error of the inning. Garrett Stevens tried to throw behind the runner, Bruff. Not sure if he missed a signal or a fielder got there late. The pitch outside 2-0. Dragons now with a staggering 53 errors. Fielding percentage of .922. There's a swing and a foul back to the screen. And a team like the Butler Grizzlies, they are a team known for jumping on any and all mistakes. They are as good at that as any team in the Jayhawk West. The 2-1. Swing and a miss. 2-2. Palmier could use a strikeout. The infield back. Dragons with a 3-1 lead, but the tying runs are at second and third with nobody out. Two from Palmier. Got him swinging. A big first out. Third strikeout for Mason. Goad goes down swinging. Now the 9-hole hitter, right fielder, Garrett Chalker. Chalker hitting .154, 6 out of 39, but he scored 10 runs. Does have a home run and 5 driven in. Walked 10 times, and he takes it. Ball 1. Grizzlies coming into this one a very discernible light. 88 walks already. There's a fly ball right field. To his right is Bolin. Makes the catch. Tagging from third is Bruff. He will score. And the Dragon lead cut in half now, 3-2. Sack fly for Chalker. As he drives in his 6th of the year. Now Patrick Bethea steps in. Runner at third, 2 away. Good breaking pitch from Mason Palmier for strike one. Bethea singled and scored in his first plate appearance. That's Palmier's 30th pitch, now pitch 31. There's another breaking pitch and another strike. 0-2 to Bethea. The pitch. Grounded up the middle and skitters through. This game is tied. Bethea with his second straight single, an RBI single. He drives in his 11th of the year. And a pair of unearned runs has tied this game up. Now Keon Givens, sacrifice bunt his first time. Likely to see Bethea in motion. He goes on the first pitch. Stevens' throw bounces in, now into center field. A stolen base and another throwing error on Garrett Stevens. His second of the inning, the Dragons' third miscue of the inning. Pitch was a strike. So now the go-ahead run just 90 feet away with 2 out. Breaking pitch. Givens checks his swing, and it's 1-1. Palmier tries another slider and misses outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Elsewhere around the league today, Barton is at Garden City. Clouds at Pratt. Colby's at Seward County. Here's a line shot to right field, and Butler takes the lead. That pitch was up. So Gibbons with an RBI single. He's likely to be going on the first pitches, but they scores another unearned run. And Butler leads at 4-3. Ryan Schmidt will come out and talk to the entire infield. The Dragon pitching staff, we thought, was kind of getting locked in. They pitched the last 5 games very well, the 4 games of the Cloud series, and then the 5-2 loss at Seminole State. But yesterday and today combined, wind blowing or not, pitch location has not been very good. And opposing teams have been pounding the baseball no matter who's been on the mound. The growing pains of a young pitching staff. Now Javier Pena, an RBI single his first time up. Butler now with 5 hits in the game. All 5 of them are singles. Pitch taken low, ball 1. The most hits Palmier has given up in a start was last week against Cloud, 7. Before that, 4 each against Northeast Texas and Colby, and only 3 against Coffeyville in his Blue Dragon debut on February 9th. Second straight toss over, pretty close, but back in safely is Givens. And Givens 21 for 22 on the base paths this year. He's out to a big lead. Palmier comes set. Does not go, and the pitch is low and outside, 2-0. That's what the speed does. It divides the pitcher's attention. You get so locked in trying to keep him as close to the bag as possible. That one's up the middle and will sneak into center for a hit. Givens on his way to third. And it is more 2-out trouble. Now runners at the corners as Pena is 2 for 2. So the top 3 batters in the Butler order right now, 5 for 5 with 5 singles and a sacrifice. Now cleanup hitter Connor Hurst, a strikeout victim his first time. 3 straight singles since 2 out. High chopper, and it's fielded in foul territory. Good play by Ryan Moritz. Trying to keep it fair, but our home plate umpire ruled it foul. We'll reset and do it again. Mason Palmier out now up to 40 pitches through an inning and 2/3. Right now the move over to first. They get him? No. Close play. Pena almost got picked. So you got 35 combined stolen bases on the base paths right now for Butler. Gibbons with 21 at third. Pena with 14 at first. The 0-1 pitch. Up to the high to right field. Coming in is Bowen. He's got it, and the inning is over, but plenty of 2-out trouble for the Dragons in the second. Three Blue Dragon errors, and the Grizzlies leave 2. After an inning and a half, our new score, Grizzlies 4 and the Dragons 3. 4-3 Butler through an inning and a half. Dragons coming up in the home half of the second inning. Zion Bolin will lead it off. He's 4 for his last 8 and has seen his average come up 27 points in the last 2 games. First pitch from Zach Billick is over the head of Zion Bolin and back to the screen. Zion now hitting .321 with 18 hits, 3 doubles, 3 triples, a home run, and 9 RBIs. Billick misses low and away 2-0. Billick threw 26 pitches in the first inning, only delivered 12 strikes as the Dragons struck for 3. Big swing and a miss by Mullen, and it's 2-1. The one number Zion would love to cut down is strikeouts. He has a team-high 20 in 56 at-bats. In his last 2 games, again, 4 hits in his last 8 plate appearances. A little bit low from Billick, and it's 3-1 to Bolin, making the start in right field today. Zion, one of those very versatile players at Ryan Schmidt's disposal. Leadoff walk to start the second to Zion Bolin. He's 4 for 4 in stolen bases. That bears watching, and Brock Schaefer will be the batter. Schaefer had a good day yesterday. Schaefer went 3 for 6 with a double, a home run, 3 RBIs, and 3 runs scored. He had been scuffling, seeing his average drop to .276, now sitting at .297 with 2 home runs and 9 RBIs. Showing bunt, snap throw to first, and back in with the head first dive is Zion Bolin. Jamel Cervantes in the third base box, rolling through the signs. This is the 7-inning game. Game number 2 today will be 9 innings. Good lead over at first by Bolin. Billick delivers. Breaking pitch upstairs, 2-0 to Schaefer. Right now, Billick fighting his command, so the Dragons just need to be patient and wait for their pitch. The pitch. 3-0 to Schaefer. Ryan Moritz will be next. Ryan, one of those who didn't get into the offensive onslaught yesterday. Bolin walked on 5 pitches. Now it's 3-0 to Schaefer. Now way outside ball 4, and it's back-to-back walks to start the second. That is now 4 walks for Zach Billick. Came into the game with a 2-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. Alex Bruff is going to go out and talk to him. And Ryan Moritz will be the hitter. Ryan Moritz out of Omaha. He's hitting .286 for the year, a home run, 11 RBIs. He broke an 0 for 16 with a 2 for 4 game on March 9th against Cloud County. An 0 for 4 in the game after that. There's a bunt up the third base line, but it goes foul. Ryan on February 16th was hitting an even 500, and on February 28th was 571. So his average has almost dropped 300 full points. Getting the start today at third. Here's the pitch. Bunted it, hit him. It did, and the bases are loaded. Pitcher went right in on the ankle. Moritz hit him. And the Dragons have him loaded with no outs to start the second, and back to the top of the order in Dylan Nedved. Ryan Moritz now can officially be called a Blue Dragon. That was his first hit by pitch. The Dragons have now been hit 31 times. They were hit 7 times yesterday. Billick will go out of the windup with the bases loaded. And it's a big cut and a miss on a breaking pitch. Nedved was thrown out by shortstop Keon Givens in his first plate appearance. He'll be followed by Logan Sartori and then Bobby Morganson. Pitch nearly gets away. Coming down about a third of the way was Bolin. Everybody else read behind him, and Bolin turned around and got back to the bag just in time. No throw. Billick uncorked 2 wild pitches that allowed 2 runs in the first inning. One and one to Nedved. The pitch. Downstairs 2-1. 40 pitches and only 15 for strikes right now for Billick. So the Dragons really need to exhibit some patience. Good pitch from Billick. A strike at the knees, and it's 2-2. Dragons have him loaded with no outs here in the second, trailing 4-3. Called strike 3 on a breaking pitch. Nedved didn't think so. That was a pretty good pitch. First strikeout recorded by Billick to 4 walks. Now Logan Sartori. He drew a walk and scored his first time up. Dragons with the bases loaded so far this year. Now 8 for 26. Sartori takes a strike at the letters. Logan 1 for 2 in bases loaded situations this year. Here's the pitch. Breaking pitch low and away. One pitch. A little bit low, 2-1.
Even though Oklahoma's season is over, it feels like they're still capable of losing 3 to 4 more games.
2-1 pitch to Sartori. That's line to right field. That's going to get down for a hit, and the Dragons are going to regain the lead. Bolin scores. Schaefer being waved. He will score. And pulling into second with the 2-run doubles, Logan Sartori. The Dragons lead at 5-4. Sartori with double number 10. That's a team high. RBIs 21 and 22. And the Dragons immediately answer back once again, leading 5-4. Runners at second and third, and just 1 out in the inning. Moritz goes first to third. Schaefer and Bolin both score. And now Bobby Morganson. Bobby, his first time up, hit a sharp single to right and scored on a wild pitch. Dragons lead it now 5-4. Their second lead of the afternoon. A breaking pitch from Billick misses low, ball 1. So Sartori now 2 for 3 in bases loaded situations. Dragons have 1 grand slam this year. Right now, with the bases loaded, that was a bit of a moot point. Get breaking pitch from Billick as a strike. There is action in the Butler pen, a right-hander. Ransom Bishop starts to loosen for the Grizzlies. 1-1 pitch. Slow roller along first. Fielded by the first baseman, Soule is coming down the line to score as Moritz to make it 6-4. Morganson drives in his 16th of the year on a 3 unassisted ground out. Sartori moves up to third as Moritz scores. There's Garrett Stevens. Stevens, an RBI single and a run scored. He scored the Dragons' third run on a wild pitch. Little 2-out knock will give the Dragons a 3-1 or 3-run lead. Big cut on a high fastball. The Dragons in 2-out situations this year, hitting .269, and have driven in 39 2-out RBIs. Now 40 with Morgansen's. Strike called, and Garrett Stevens down to the count, no balls and 2 strikes, as Zach Billick has broken the 50-pitch threshold. The 0-2. Slow roller up the middle. Gibbons charges, Fields throws, and the inning is over, but the Dragons again cash in. They load them up with back-to-back walks and a hit by pitch. Logan Sartori in our 2-run double. Bobby Morganson an RBI ground out. 3 runs on just 1 hit, no errors and 1 left. We've completed 2 at Hobart-Detter Field. Our new score, the Dragons 6 and the Grizzlies 4. Hobart-Detter continues to leak runs at a pretty wide pace. 6-4 Dragons through 2. So we head to the third. Mason Palmier goes to work against first baseman Jackson Soule. Not quite the 18-14 after 2 that we saw yesterday. Pitching on the hands, pulled foul. Jackson Soule's first time up, took a call third to end the first inning. Soule came in with a .381 average. Slider from Palmier misses low and away. Foul back to the screen, and it's 1-2. Got 2 fairly free swinging teams. Swing and a miss. Strike 3, and Soule down on strike for the second time.
I think Thomas was taking a nap and he just woke up.
4th strikeout for Palmier.
Like night terrors.
Coming into the game, the Blue Dragons have struck out 171 times in 19 games. There's a shot into left field by Bruff for a base hit. He's 2 for 2. 1 out single for Bruff. Now the designated hitter, Jack Mackey, who reached on an error and scored his first time up. Again, the Dragons have, coming in, 171 strikeouts. The Grizzlies have struck out 130 times in 20 games. So both teams fairly significant in the number of strikeouts. Mackey swings and misses and fouls it off to the left.
They'll see it.
And the next time I see him, he'll be like, "Hey, why did you pick on me?"
Because you pushed one too many times.
Which was once.
Which was once.
Well, he did it.
Bruff away from first. He's 2 for 3, or 2 for 2 in stolen bases. Another foul slide stop by Mackey, and it's 0-2. Still looking for our first scoreless inning. It was the top of the third yesterday. The pitch. Ground ball left side, and that'll sneak through. Moritz didn't get a very good jump. And it's back-to-back singles with one out here in the third. Opposite field single for Mackey. He's 1 for 2. That's now 8 hits for Butler. All 8 are singles. And the second baseman, Mason Goad, steps in a strikeout victim his first time. Still waiting to see a double play. We kept calling for one yesterday and it never came. Maybe the Dragons can turn one here. Hutchinson with only 10 double plays in their first 19 games of the year. Goad takes high ball 1. The wind continues to howl directly out. Plenty of movement in the press box. Ball 2 to Goad on the pitch up high. We might be the only broadcast that has to put a pregame disclaimer. If you have motion sickness, you may want to watching this broadcast because of the movement in the press box. Big cut and miss, and it's 2-1. A couple of weeks ago when that 3+ earthquake was epicentered in South Hutch, one of my students called me and asked if we had felt it out here. And it's hard to tell because this press box always moves regardless if there's an earthquake or not. 2-1 pitch. Going outside, 3-1. So Palmier continues to battle his control. He has a walk to batter, but he's been behind in the count quite a bit. There's the 3-1 to Goad. Swing and a miss, full count. Butler hitting .326 as a team. We mentioned that earlier. 40 doubles, 13 triples, 25 RBIs. Those 13 triples amongst the most in the nation this year. Payoff pitch lifted to center field. Back a few steps is Brock Schaefer. He's got it. Tagging and heading for third is Bruff. He will make it. And now it's Grizzlies at the corner and 2 out. So Bruff moves up to third, and then right fielder Garrett Chalker will be the batter. He had a sac fly his first time up. 4 runs surrendered by Mason Palmier, only 1 earned. The pitch. Upstairs, ball 1. I'm not saying you're not correct. I'm just saying it is the way it is.
Yeah, no, I agree. I didn't say we disagreed. I just said that we've discussed that before.
Yes, we have. Danny and I are talking about why when you bunt you get a sacrifice, but when you hit a fly ball out that doesn't produce a run but moves up a runner, why isn't that a sacrifice? Strike called and is 1-1 to Chalker. You're still moving runners up, but yet you're charged with an out or a net bat in that particular bat. Swinging a foul ball, it's 1-2. If you're new to our broadcast, Denny and I can get mighty philosophical when it comes to baseball. The 1-2 from Palmier. Just off the plate wide. Stealing second is Mackey. Now it's runners at second and third, 2 out, and a 2-2 count on Garrett Chalker. Palmier comes, set, and delivers. Full count. Here's the payoff. Got him swinging, and the inning is over. And it was a struggle, but Mason Palmier puts up the first scoreless inning of the series. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 left. The Grizzlies have stranded 5 through 3. Head to the bottom of the third. Dragons 6 and the Grizzlies 4. Zach Baxley to lead off the bottom of the third for Hutchinson. Steve Carpenter with you on the network. I'll be at it again tomorrow afternoon out at Fun Valley as the Blue Dragon softball team has a Jayhawk East doubleheader with the Red Ravens. Baxley first pitch swinging, drives it to center. Back a few steps is Bethea. He tracks it down for the first out of the third inning. Baxley now 0 for 1. He walked his first time up. There's Riley Metzger, flew out to left field his first time. 6 RBIs in the game yesterday, a pair of home runs. He is one of 12 Blue Dragons in program history to have 6 or more RBIs in a single game. Check swing foul, and it will get out of play. Actually hits the light pole and stays in. Excessive weather in these two baseball teams have seemingly become mutually exclusive. They have sat through more strange weather games calling the Blue Dragons and the Grizzlies than I care to think about. 2008, we sat here and had about every weather occurrence that you could have in 2 days. Pitch taken at the knees for a strike. 0-2 to Metzger. That year, the Saturday games were played with sleet, snow, thunder snow, and the next day it was 64 degrees and perfectly clear. 0-2 pitch called, strike 3. Great pitch from Billick. And very quickly it's 2 up and 2 down as Billick collects his second strikeout. 1 year later, the Grizzlies and the Blue Dragons are playing here at Hobart-Detter Field. And I get a call from my son, who was an injured sophomore on that particular team. And he calls me and says there's a tornado right across the river from Hobart-Detter. Strike called. And it's 0-1 to Bolin. A couple of years ago in El Dorado, I could hardly see our outfielders because of all the heavy smoke from the grass fires around El Dorado at that time. Right now it's 0-2, and Billick is really locked into this third inning after struggling and giving up 6 runs in the first 2. 0-2 pitch. Lifted to right center field. Bethea and Chalker over. It's Bethea taking charge. And very quickly the Dragons go in order in the bottom of the third. We head to the fourth. 6-4 Blue Dragons. Top of the order for the Grizzlies in the fourth. Hutchinson leading 6-4. Patrick Bethea is 2 for 2 with a single, an RBI, and 2 runs scored. And Mason Palmier starts him off with the ball. Top of the order has been tough on Palmier. Swinging a fly ball to right. In a few steps is Bolin now to his right. He's got it one away. Bethea is retired for the first time this afternoon. I was getting ready to say the top of the order was 5 for 5 with the sacrifice. Make that 5 for 6 now as Keon Gibbons steps in the shortstop. Gibbons with the sacrifice and an RBI single, 1 for 1. Dragons have out hit 8-3. Pitch taken a little bit low. Dragon dugout barking on that one. Zone continues to be smallish this week at Hobart-Detter. There's a strike, and pretty much the same pitch, and it's 1-1. We endured a postage stamp strike zone yesterday. Line shot to right, and it'll get down in front of Bowen. And Givens has his second hit, the 9th single of the game by the Grizzlies. Givens now 2 for 2. Here's Javier Pena. Again, Givens, 21 stolen bases in 22 attempts. Move over to first, nothing doing. Bethea and Mackey have stolen bases for the Grizzlies. That's a ball to Pena. So this top of this Butler lineup really stresses opposing defenses, and same is happening to the Blue Dragons this afternoon. Time called the plate by Pena, and it's granted. Got to go back, talking about the weather of these two teams. Last year, they were here, the Grizzlies. First the pitch, runner goes. Pitches a strike, throw down, not nearly in time, and it's a 22nd stolen base for Keon Givens. So Givens at second with 1 out, and a 1-1 count to Javier Pena. The first game of that doubleheader, and it was the first of 2 on Friday last year, and it was also the same night as the National Basketball Semifinals the Blue Dragons were playing in. First game was played very quickly under very pristine conditions. Foul back to the screen by Javier, and it's 1-2. I headed back to the arena to get ready for the basketball game between games. And from the time that I left Hobart-Detter Field under picture-perfect conditions, they were in a lightning delay down here at Detter. 1-2 pitch. Foul back out of play. That turned out to be the game where Butler scored 15 runs in the second inning. The rain came, ended up delaying it to the next day. Blue Dragons had chances to actually come back and win that game, leaving the bases loaded 3 times. High chopper left side, drifting back is Moritz. He fields, holds the runner, but the throw pulls him off. That'll be a throwing error on Ryan Moritz, the 4th error of the game for the Blue Dragons. Ryan did everything perfectly except make the throw. But that holding Givens at second at least keeps the forces on for Connor Hurst. Don't be surprised if we see a double steal out of B.J. McVeigh's base runners here. Pitch it a pop-up. Is he going to stay playable? Garrett Stevens giving chase. Get her to the dugout, but it lands on top of the Dragon dugout for strike 1. That series last year here ended up going 4 games over 3 days. Dragons took 3 of 4, but lost that game as Butler scored at that time a record 20 runs against. That was broken yesterday by Nyack. They scored 24. Swing and a miss. It's 0-2 to Hurst. It's amazing how much symmetry there is in the game of baseball. And just the littlest things, you can derive connotations to each other's teams. It's an amazing game that way. 0-2 pitch. Called strike 3, outside corner. Big strikeout for out number 2. Mason Palmier now with 6 strikeouts. Jackson Sule will be the batter. Likely to see the runners in motion sometime in this at bat with 2 out. Palmier sets. Ground ball right field. That's a base hit. Here comes Givens to score as the throw comes into second. And it is a 2-out single for Sule, and the Dragon lead cut to 6-5. Another unearned run. as the inning should be over.
How many unearned is that?
All but one. So here's Bruff. He's 2 for 2. 10 hits now for the Grizzlies, all singles. Fooled on that pitch was Bruff, and he swings through and misses it in an off-balance swing. 76 pitches now for Mason Palmier. The ball's well hit toward the gap in left center field. This may have a chance, and it leaves the yard, a 3-run home run, and Butler has the lead, 8-6. Alex Bruff now 3 for 3, his second home run of the year. And again, 2-out trouble for the Blue Dragons. And all these runs unearned. 7 of the 8 allowed unearned. Now Jack Mackey. First pitch swinging, foul off. Ground ball to Sartori at second. High throw. Baxley holds the bag and the inning is over. But a big turn for the Grizzlies. Again, all coming with 2 outs. And halfway through in game number 1. It is now the Grizzlies 8 and the Dragons 6. Right now, the difference in this one are 2-out situations. Butler's 5 for 9 with 6 2-out RBIs. Capped by that 3-run home run by Alex Bruff. So 5 for 9 with 6 RBIs. Those are just with 2 out. The Dragons with 2 outs. 0 for 3. So the Dragons are doing their damage early in the at-bats, or the innings. Brock Schaefer to lead it off, and the Grizzlies doing theirs with 2 out. Ball 1 to Brock Schaefer from Zach Bellick. Brock walked and scored in his only plate appearance. Outside ball 2. There has been action in the Butler bullpen throughout. Right now quiet by surmise if Schaefer reaches, especially by a walk, that will change very quickly. Evidently that second pitch was a strike, but scoreboard reads 2-1, so it is 2-1 according to our home plate umpire. Take my off. It's a little bit too early on that last pitch. Schaefer slices that one foul. Dragons went down in order in the third after hitting for 3 runs in each of the first 2 innings. So maybe Billick is locking in. Two to Schaefer. Curveball upstairs, full count. Butler 5 for 9 with 6 2-out RBIs in those situations. That is the difference. as they lead by 2. Here's the payoff to Schaefer. Leadoff walk. Schaefer walks for the second consecutive time, and that'll bring up Ryan Moritz. He was plunked by a pitch and scored. He scored on the ground out by Bobby Morganson that made it at that point 6-4 Hutchinson. Now the Grizzlies with a 4 spot here in the top of the 4th. And the Dragons have been very good about responding when Butler has scored. Butler scored 1 in the first. The Dragons countered with 3. Each team with 3 runs in the second. Moritz late on that Billick fastball, 0-1. Dragons also committing 4 errors in the game. That's not helping the cause either. All that stuff, 2 out hits, errors, all cumulative effects on your pitcher and their pitch count. Instead of pitching in relative ease out there, he's always pitching with runners on base, and that becomes stressful. Good lead over at first by Schaefer. Moritz takes a strike at the belt, and he's 0-2. Told you that Ryan had a 2-hit game a couple of games ago against Cloud. I misread that. There's a line shot to left field. That's for a hit. Schaefer makes a big turn, but he stays at second. And for Ryan Moritz, that breaks in 0 for 14. Yes, thank you, Danny. So 2 on to start the 4th for Hutchinson, is back to the top of the order, and Dylan Nedved. 0 for 2, looking for his first hit. He is grounded out to short and struck out looking. See if the Dragons might button this situation. Corners up, even with the bags for the Grizzlies. Ground ball to the right side. Goad has it, flips to second for 1. He came off the bag, and they call him safe at first, but I can't believe that Ed Moore had called him safe because the shortstop, Gibbons, was off the bag, but he's called out on the neighborhood play. 4-6 fielder's choice. No argument by the Blue Dragons. But from my vantage point, he was clearly off the base. Schaefer moves up to third. So here's Logan Sartori. Last time up, a 2-run double. Hit well down the left field line, but it's going to hook foul at home run distance. Dragons have been out hit 11-4. Now trail 8-6. Move over to first. Back in safely is Nedved. Yes, the NCAA tournament's going on, but so is a long afternoon of Blue Dragon baseball. Thanks for joining us. Breaking pitch, and Bill dropped right in there. Good pitch, and it's 0-2 to Sartori. A lot of excitement coming into this season with the national ranking and all that came with it, but Dragons are going through a very typical growing process. The pitch, high and tight, 1-2 to Sartori. Just don't completely replace the infield that this team lost 1 year ago. Considering one's in professional baseball, another who's a national player of the year is tearing it up at Texas A&M. The pitch, breaking pitch outside, 2-2. The third member of that infield last year, the career home run leader in Blue Dragon history in the 4th, was really the cement of the entire team, and Brady Hoover. He's the one that galvanized that team. Dragons still kind of looking for those entities to make this team complete. 2-2 pitch. That one's hit toward the gap left center field. That's down and will one-hop the wall. Schaefer scores easily. Cervantes is waving Nedved. He's going to score without a play, and we're tied at 8. And once again, the Dragons answer back. So Sartori with RBIs 3 and 4 for the game. Now 24 for the season, his second consecutive double. Nedved scores all the way from first. Here's Bobby Morganson. Bobby an RBI ground out. That made it 6-4 at the time. Still just one out in the inning. The pitch. Breaking pitch inside. All 11 Butler hits are singles. The Dragons now have 5 hits, with 2 for doubles, both by Sartori. 1-0 to Morganson. Ground ball to the right side. Goad charges and fields. He throws Morganson out. Sartori moves up to third, but with 2 out. So a productive out puts the go-ahead run at third base with 2 out. Here's Garrett Stevens. Garrett an RBI single in the first, and he grounded out to end the second. Stevens now with 10 RBIs. He is the 8th Dragon to reach 10, and he takes strike 1 from Billick. There have been a ton of runs scored in the league this year. A lot of great offensive players. Good stop by Bruff. That saved a run. Billick uncorked a couple of wild pitches that allowed 2 runs in the Dragons' 3-run first. Sartori away from third. The pitch. That ball's well hit toward the gap in right center field. It's gone! An opposite field 2-run home run for Garrett Stevens, and the Dragons lead at 10-8. That was a laser beam shot to right center that just climbed enough. Stevens with his second and third RBIs of the game, now 12 for the year with his first round tripper. And the Dragons lead at 10-8, and finally some 2-out damage for Hutchinson. So now Zach Billick becomes the second straight Blue Dragon opponent starting pitcher to give up at least 10 runs in a game. Yesterday, Nyack's Harrison Beatty gave up 18 runs, 13 were earned in an inning and a third. Zach actually slices this one foul. Harrison Beatty's line yesterday, 73 pitches, 1 1/3 inning. The pitch, line shot, that's into right field for a hit. The 7th hit of the game for the Blue Dragons. The first for Baxley, he's 1 for 2. And you've got 2 offenses who are relentless right now. There's Riley Metzger. Beatty yesterday, 1 1/3 innings. We're going to trip to the mound. My Tyrese, the Butler pitching coach. There is action in the pen. But yesterday, Harrison Beath came in with a 0 ERA. And in 1 1/3 innings, 73 pitches, 14 hits, 18 runs, 13 earned. And he also walked 1. Faced 22 batters, and 18 scored. That's a pretty amazing number. Nyack was playing his 9th game in 6 days, so they were a little bit thin pitching. And he was asked to take one for the team, and it wound up 28-24. 52 combined runs, 42 combined hits, 15 combined home runs. Now Metzger, who's 0 for 2. Swing and a miss, a little bit late on a fastball. Good lead over at first by Baxley. Foul back off the facade. Baxley was cut down stealing earlier in the game. Billick looks over. Now delivers the 0-2. That's back to the screen, and third wild pitch of the game will send Zach Baxley to second. He had thoughts of third momentarily, but thought better of it. So the line on Billick to this point, 3 2/3, 7 hits, 10 runs, 9 earned, 5 walks, 2 strikeouts, 3 wild pitches, and a hit batter. Barton defeats Garden City 18-3 in game number 1 of that series. Here, Riley Metzger checks on that breaking pitch low, and it's 2-2. So Garden City, all of a sudden, has lost 5 in a row in league play. Colby loses to Seward County, 13-8, you said? 13-8, so Seward takes the first one there. That's lined, but snagged by the second baseman, Goad, to end the inning. Metzger hit it hard. But Goad measured it up. 4 runs, 4 hits for the Dragons, 1 left on. We've completed 4. The Dragons take their third lead of the afternoon, and heading to the 5th is Hutchinson 10 and Butler 8. Let's get you a Jayhawk West update. Gave you a couple of scores. Again, Seward County won the opener over Colby today at Brent Goldfield and Liberal by the score of 13-8. Game number 2 about underway. At Williams Stadium in Garden City, the Busters run ruled by Barton 18-3 in 5 innings. And early in game number 2 in Garden City, the Cougars are up 8-0 on the Bronx Busters. So Garden City coming off a sweep against Butler, where they were swept. Now lost 5 in a row. Ball 1 to Mason Goad. He was 0 for 2, a strikeout and a flyout. Mason Palmier gets the call as they check down, and Ed Morris says it's a strike, and it's 1-1 to Goad. Mason Palmier into his 5th inning. He has battled and right now has a 2-run lead. Swing and a miss. And it's 1-2. That one's fouled off. Remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. 7 strikeouts are a season high for Mason Palmier. His previous high was 4 against Colby on March 1st. 1-2 pitch. Fastball away, 2-2 to go. It's 8-9-1 here in the Butler 5th. No action in the Dragon Pen right now. This is Mason Palmier's game. Breaking pitch misses. They check down. And this time Goad checks his swing, and it's a full count. 85 pitches, 60 in the zone for Mason Palmier, so walks aren't the issue. Getting anything up is. Payoff pitch, got him swinging. That's a season-high 8th strikeout. Goad 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts. Now Garrett Chalker 1 with a strikeout. A sac fly in the second drove in a run. Ten runs, 7 hits, 4 errors, 2 left on for Hutchinson. 8 runs, 11 hits, 1 error, 5 left on for Butler. Ball 1 to Chalker. Matt Hopkins gets the starting game number 2. Close pitch, but it's called the ball and it's 2-0. Got here a little bit late, had an appointment in Wichita I had to tend to, so I didn't get a chance to talk to B.J. McVeigh before the game and get his game 2 starter. Now it's 3-0 to Chalker. Last thing you want to do against the top part of the order is walk your 9-hole hitter, especially after getting the lead back for the 3rd time. 3-0 is right down the chute. 3-1. Little tap right back to Palmier on one hop. Takes his time over to Baxley, and there's 2 away. So Chalker is 3-0, and Palmier able to retire him. 2 up and 2 down for center fielder Patrick Bethea, who's 2 for 3. Singles in the 1st and 2nd inning. 2 runs scored, 1 RBI. He flew out to right his last time up to lead off the 4th. Great breaking pitch from Palmier for a strike on pitch number 92. High fly ball, well hit to left. Morganson turns and looks, and it's gone. Anything up today is just absolutely getting obliterated. That pitch was belt high. And Bethea leaves the yard, his 4th home run of the year. So a 2-out home run, and the Dragons continue to struggle getting off the field. That is now the 7th 2-out RBI by the Grizzlies in this game. They're now 6 for 10 in 2-out situations. Here's Keon Gibbons, 2 for 3. Slow roller. This is going to be a tough play. Palmier can't field it. That'll be an infield single. So now the tying run on for Javier Pena. He came into this game hitting an even 500. He's 2 for 3 in this one, a pair of singles, 1 RBI, and a run scored. It's 10-9 now. 2 straight moves over to first. "52 runs yesterday, 19 so far today. The pitch is a strike. The throw down is in time. Garrett Stevens to Logan Sartori, and Gibbons is cut down for just the 2nd time this year. That'll do it. The home run by Bethea cuts the Dragon lead to 1. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Hutchinson 10 and Butler 9. Zach Billick back out for the 5th inning for B.J. McVeigh and the Butler Grizzlies. Give these 2 starters a lot of credit. They are pitching in some absolutely miserable conditions for pitching. in a park that right now it is leaking runs at a record rate. 71 runs scored in the last 14 and a half innings in this ballpark. Here's Zion Bowl in the bottom third of the order for the Dragons in the fifth. Zion takes ball one. Bolin has walked and scored and flown out to right. "71 runs in actually 13 and a half innings. That one's popped up into foul territory. Soule battling the wind, makes the catch. That was a tough play. Bolin is retired to start the fifth. He's 0 for 2. Now Brock Schaefer, he's walked twice and scored twice. So Schaefer seems to be riding the ship a little bit. Ryan Moritz on deck. Broken 0 for 14 with a single in his last at bat. Schaefer shows bunt and takes ball one on pitch number 89 for Zach Billick. Schaefer looking for his 20th hit of the season. Outside 2-0. In the series finale, or actually the first game, Schaefer didn't play in the fourth game of that series against Cloud. He went 0 for 5 with a strikeout. Schaefer hits one high to right. Garrett Chalker shielding the sun with his hand and makes the catch 2 away. Schaefer just got under that one. 2 up and 2 down for Ryan Moritz, the third baseman, 1 for 1. On base twice. He was hit by a pitch in the second and scored, and then singled again to break that 0 for 14 in the fourth inning. Ball outside. So the Dragons need a little 2-out magic to match the run in the top of the inning. Home run by Bethea. They've matched runs every inning Butler has scored. Big cut by Moritz, and it's 1-1. Other than a little control issue by Billick, he's not throwing a bad game. Pitch low and in. There's 4 walks. Most of those came in the first 2 innings. 3 wild pitches that allowed 2 runs to score. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Moritz late on that offering, and it's 2-2. The Dragons went in order in the third. Right now, Billick a strike away from doing it again. Downstairs in the dirt, full count. Moritz gets on. It's back to the top of the order, and Dylan Nedved. And this is the 7th inning game, so we're into the latter stages. Here's the payoff. He lost him. So Moritz walks to reach base for the 3rd consecutive time, and now Dylan Nedved, the batter. B.J. McVeigh wants to know if his bullpen is ready, as Alex Breff goes out and talks and buys some time. The pen's been up periodically throughout the game, although somebody new warming up out there. Side armor Trevor Gorgeous. BJ will opt to stay with Billick, who's thrown now 97 pitches. As Dylan Nedved steps in, and now McVeigh will make his way to the mound, likely to make a pitching change. So he hasn't made the call yet. As the entire infield with head coach B.J. McVeigh. I'm sure he's looking at Zach Billick, seeing how he feels. And
getting his take on the situation. Dragons lead 10-9. Runner first two-way here in the bottom of the fifth. This is a 7-inning game. Second game will be about 25 minutes after the completion of this one. Again, you'll have to switch links. And finally, B.J. McVeigh makes the call to the bullpen. He was buying as much time for his new pitcher as possible. He had just gotten started. We'll tell you about the new Butler pitcher after this break. Sidearmer Trevor Gorgeous, a right-hander, comes out of the pen for B.J. McVeigh. Gorgeous, a 5'10", 140-pound sophomore out of Andover. He comes into the game with a runner at first base and 2 away, and the Dragons leading 10-9. Gorgeous making his 5th overall appearance, 3rd in relief, 1-1. Check that, 7th appearance. A 1-0 record with a 4.0 earned run average. 9 innings pitched for Gorgeous, 10 hits, 6 runs, 4 have been earned. He has struck out 6 and walked 2, and has allowed 2 home runs. He gets leadoff hitter Dylan Nedved with Ryan Moritz at first base and 2 away. Moritz walked to end the afternoon of Zach Billick, who battled. Cannot win it, but can still lose it. And Nedved swings at the first Gorgeous offering, a fastball, strike 1. The pitch. Foul off, and it's 0-2 to Nedved. Dragons trying to win their 2nd conference opener in 3 conference series. The ironic thing is the game they won, they end up losing the next 3. The game they lost, they won the next 3. The pitch. High and tight, 1-2 to Nedved. In case you're thinking if Moritz will go, he's 0 for 1. Dragons have already had 1 base stealer cut down on the bases today, stealing. The pitch. That's hard hit ball up the middle. Gotten to by the shortstop, and the throw pulled him off. Fielder's choice in an error. Nedved reaches on a fielder's choice. Moritz safe on an error on Keon Givens. He got to the ball and tried to backhand flip and didn't make the proper throw. So now the Dragons have a chance with an error to do some damage here. Sartori, a 4 RBI day, 2 doubles for Sartori. His doubles have gone to right center to score 2. That came in the 2nd. And a gapper to left center that scored 2 in the 4th. 1-0 to Sartori, the pitch. Hits one high and deep to left. Hurst back at the fence. It's gone! A 3-run home run for Logan Sartori. He ties a Blue Dragon record with 7 RBIs in 1 game, tying 3 others. The last being Gabe Worth. And the Blue Dragons lead at 13-9. So once again, all 3 runs unearned. But again, the Blue Dragons making me blow up the record book. Sartori now 3 for 3. He's been on base 4 times, scored 3 runs, and driven in 7. 13-9 the score. Now Bobby Morganson takes low ball 1. That's the 3rd home run surrendered by Gorgeous this year. The pitch. Morganson slices it foul, and it's 1-1. "41 runs in the last 13 innings that the Dragons have hit in. 41 runs. Taken low for a ball, 2-1. Can't tell you yet. There's a high drive to left center field. Hurst just looks, and it clears the scoreboard. Back-to-back home runs for the Dragons. And they lead it now 14-9. Morganson with his 5th bomb of the year, RBI 17. So the Dragons now have 9 hits, 3 home runs, a pair of doubles. Home runs by Sartori, Morganson, and Stevens. Hutchinson now with 31 home runs for the year. They have cracked the 10-run mark for the 6th time. Ball 1 to Garrett. His last time up, a 2-run home run. He has a 3 RBI game working, an RBI single in the first and 2 runs scored. His home run was a laser beam to center field. Outside for a ball, 2-0. So the Dragons have matched Butler every inning. Waiting until 2 outs and with an error involved here in the 5th, but it's a 4 spot. 2-1 to Stevens on that foul ball. Garrett did not play in the Nyack game yesterday. Foul back. 2-2. Stevens now with 8 RBIs for the year. 3 this afternoon. Back-to-back home runs by Sartori and Morganson. 3-run shot by Sartori. 7 RBIs in the game. That's lifted foul out of play. Pickup was coming in the parking lot, and Garrett had it targeted, but he avoided it. Once again, the 2-2. That's hit to left field and down for a hit toward the corner. This could be extra bases. Hurst goes over and gets it. Garrett makes a big turn but stays put. And Stevens has a 3-hit game. That's his second 3-hit game. That ties a career high. Here's Zach Baxley. Dragons have reached the 10-hit mark. They've been out hit 13-10. But their hits have done plenty more damage than the Grizzlies. First pitch swinging is hit to shallow right center field, but they and Chalker coming in. But they has it and the inning is over. But back-to-back home runs with 2 outs by Sartori, a 3-run shot, Morganson. Dragons come up with 4 runs on 3 hits. There was 1 big Butler error and 1 left on. We've completed 5 at Hobart-Detter Field in game number 1. Our new score, the Dragons 14 and the Grizzlies 9. This is the 90th birthday year for Hobart-Detter Field, and I don't think there's ever been an offensive onslaught that we've seen like we have the last 2 days here. Javier Pena fouls off the first. Mason Palmier offering to start the sixth. Pena 2 for 3. He was at the plate when Keon Gibbons was cut down stealing by Garrett Stevens. 1-1 now to Pena. The line for Palmier through 5. 13 hits allowed, 9 hits, only 2 earned. 7 strikeouts, no walks. That's the key thing. 1 balk. And he's now up to 98 pitches. 3-4-5 here in the Butler 6th. 2-1 pitch. 3-1. The umpires have not helped the pitchers last 2 days, that's for sure. Pitch number 100 is fouled off, and it's a full count. What was that update, Denny? I'm sorry. Here's the payoff. Hard hit ball, foul outside the bag at first. Game 2 at Williams Stadium in Garden City. Barton leads Garden City 9-3. That game going to the 5th. Barton won the first game in 5 innings, 18-3. Once again, the payoff. Ground ball right side, and it's a 3-hit game for Pena. He came in hitting 500. It's 3 for 4. Now left fielder, Connor Hurst. Hurst is 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. Here we are, Denny. We're still looking for that first double play of the week.
Yes, we are. Yes,
I think we had a pinch runner at first base. As it's ball 1. Yeah, it's Kobe DeVille, number 6. Out of Broomfield, Colorado, is pinch running at first base for Pena. That pitch fouled back by Hurst, and it's 1-1. Move over to first. Nearly got away from Zach Baxley. Dayton Lane now throwing in the Hutchinson bullpen. Dragons lead at 14-9 here in the top of the 6th. This one's scheduled for 7. Time called as Palmier went into the motion, and that's becoming kind of a nasty habit. We've seen that twice yesterday, where time was granted every time. The pitch, swing and a miss.
I told Corbin Strobel to talk to Conant and ask him if that's an area of emphasis for umpires this year to really jack with the pitchers by
1-2 to Hurst now. The pitch, way outside. Now they may have the runner caught. Did they get him? Yes, they did. Daleville picked off by Garrett Stevens. I thought he may have double clutched it. It cost him. But Daleville is picked off at first, and its base is empty, 2 away. Ground ball to third. Bobbled by Moritz. He picks up and throws, and not in time. That'll be a 2-out error. The 5th of the game for the Dragons. 1-out error. My apologies. I'm hoping. 5 errors in the game in the now 56 for the season. Ryan Schmidt comes out of the dugout. Dayton Lane has been down there. We assume he's heated up, and Ryan Schmidt makes the call, and we will see the aforementioned Dayton Lane. Gutsy outing for Mason Palmier. He works into the 6th and leaves with the lead of 14-9 back after this break. Dayton Lane out of College Station, Texas, takes over on the mound for Hutchinson. Not a safe situation, but the way this offense has been the last 2 days in this ballpark, you might want to give him one. Lane making his 7th appearance overall, 1-0 with 1 save. Very good 3.27 earned run average. Lane has tossed 11 innings to this point. 8 hits, 8 runs, only 4 earned. He has struck out 10 but walked 6. Opponents hitting only 195 against. So he gets Jackson Soleil with a runner at first base and 1 out. Hurst reached on a fielding error by Ryan Moritz, the 5th Dragon error of the game. Soleil 1 for 3. First pitch swinging, and he pulls it foul. Couple of strikeouts for Soleil. An RBI single in the 4th. Mason Palmier battled. He can win it, but can't lose it. Breaking pitch upstairs from Lane, and it's 1-1 as the wind continues to howl and rock the press box here at Hobart-Detter. That's nothing new. The pitch. Dandy breaking pitch for a strike, and it's 1-2 to Soleil. Butler with a couple of steals in this one. Hurst away from first, a decent-sized lead. The 1-2. Ground ball left side, and it will get past Nedved for a hit. There's now 15 hits by the Grizzlies. 14 have been singles. Excuse me? 2. So first and second one out for Bruff. Alex Bruff 3 for 3, 2 singles and a 3-run home run. He's worked his tail off behind the plate trying to block pitches. He's helped the Grizzlies out offensively in a big way. Lane's pitch. Ground ball left side. Nedved gets it. Only played a first. Strong throw gets Bruff. That was the only play he had. That was not a double play ball. But a good strong throw from Dylan Nedved. Runners move up to second and third, but now with 2 out. And the designated hitter, Jack Mackey, will be the batter. Mackey 1 for 3, a run scored. He had a 3rd inning single. Been on base twice, reaching on an error in the 2nd. 14-9 Dragons here in the top of the 6th. Lane misses outside, not by much, but it's ball 1 to Mackey. At the bare minimum, the Grizzlies will bring the top of the order back around in the 7th. Ground ball right side. Sartori ranges. Now nobody's at the bag. Lane over, and they get him. Baxley broke on the ball, and a heads-up Dayton Lane covered the bag as Sartori got to it. A 4-1 put out at first to end the inning, and the threat is turned aside. No runs, a hit, an error, and 2 left. We head to the bottom of the 6th. Dragons 14 and the Grizzlies 9. Cortland Cotlin becomes your new pitcher. Colby Dayville stays in at third base. He was a pinch runner. Now Riley Metzger, the DH, steps in. Lead off the Dragons 6. Hutchinson leading 14-9. Metzger 0 for 3. First pitch swinging, hits one left side. Charging is the third baseman, Dayville. He throws it across in time to get Metzger. And Riley's 0 for 4. Here's Zion Bolin. Cortland Cotton making just his second appearance of the year. 1 inning, did not give up anything with 1 strikeout. First pitch to Zion Bolin is outside, ball 1. Bolin 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Two notable. This time or this point in the game yesterday, we were already talking about 4th and 5th plate appearances for players. Actually, we got 5th and 6th. Ground ball to short. Gibbons charges, bobbles, and won't have a play. That'll be an error on the Grizzlies, their 3rd of the game. Second error of the game for Gibbons. He had the backhanded fielding error or throwing error that on a forced play that kept the last inning alive. Wound up being a 4-run inning. That happened right before Sartori hit the 3-run home run. Now here's Brock Schaefer, 0 for 1 with a couple of walks and 2 runs scored. $14-9 Dragons. Schaefer laid on that offering, 0-1. Schaefer, last third of the last year, made right field his own. Didn't hit for a high average, but had a very aggressive approach at the plate. I'd like to see more of that as he seems to be coming out of it. 1-1 now to Schaefer. Cotton comes set and delivers. 2-1. Game number 2. We got 25 minutes after the completion of this one. You will have to switch links. You can find that link on the broadcast schedule page at BlueDragonSports.com. Schaefer takes inside. Tried to get it to hit him, and it didn't. But Schaefer's up in the count. 3 balls and 1 strike. One Dragon's been plunked today. It's 31 for the year now. Riley Metzger being hit with a pitch. Strike at the letters, full count. Brock was ready to toss the bat, thought better of it. Now it's 3-2 with 1 out. Might we see Zion Bolin move on the pitch? He's inching that lead out just a little bit farther. He does not go. Schaefer hits one well to right, but right at Chalker, who makes the catch. Halfway down was Bolin. He'll return, and there's 2 away here in the Dragons' 6th. Here's Ryan Moritz, broken 0 for 14 with a single in the 4th. He's been on base 3 times, hit by a pitch in the 2nd. I think I said Metzger's hit by a pitch. It was actually Ryan Moritz. On a 1-2 pitch, he took a slider right in the foot, and he walked in the 5th, scored 2 runs. First pitch, hacking, and it's fouled off to the left. Matt Hopkins gets the start in the 2nd game for the Blue Dragons. No word on a starter from B.J. McVeigh. Again, I got here a little bit late and didn't get a chance to speak with the Butler head coach before the game. 0-1. Sails outside, 1-1 now the count. So Barton looks like it's on its way to a sweep of Garden City today. That would put the nationally ranked Cougars at 5-1 in league play. They had the first bye week of the season. Grounded up the middle. Givens gets to it, steps on the bag to get the force on Bolin, and the inning is over. No runs, no hits, and error, and one left. We head to the 7th inning. Dragons 14 and the Grizzlies 9. Dragons 3 outs away from their 5th consecutive victory. It's 8-9-1 here in the 7th to face Dayton Lane. Mason Goad 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts and a flyout will lead it off. Strike 1 from Dayton. Lane came in, take over for Mason Palmier, who threw a very gutty game but stands to get his 2nd win of the year. Fooled on that pitch. He went around and it's 0-2. Palmier, 5 1/3 innings pitched, 14 hits, 9 runs, only 2 earned, 7 strikeouts, 2 or no walks. Swinging a foul ball and remains 0-2 to Goad. 103 pitches for Palmier. Lane gave up a hit, but nothing else in the 6th. Let's get in the 0-2. Close pitch. 1-2. NFL insider Steve Kapman, also known as our assistant athletic director, giving out NFL information. 2-2 now to
All you Raider fans out there.
to go. Yep, for all you Raider fans, they're releasing Michael Crabtree. 2-2 pitch. Upstairs, full count.
Are there any Raider fans? You know, do they exist?
I know a couple. Now the payoff. High fly to center. Schaefer back to the track. Looks like he has a beat on it and does for out number 1. So Goad goes 0 for 4. Then I'll bring up Garrett Chalker, the 9-hole hitter. Chalker 0 for 2 with a sac fly and an RBI in the 2nd. He's also struck out and grounded out to the pitcher. Patrick Bethea, the leadoff hitter's next. Then it would be Keon Givens. Strike called. Working quickly is Lane. Chalker swings and misses, and it's very quickly 0-2. Since the KU game has ended, in Wichita, the crowd's starting to pick up here a little bit. 0-2 pitch. Ooh, close pitch. Great miss on 0-2. And Lane wants the ball right back and get back to it. Into the wind, the 1-2. Did he go around? Did it not? Chalker checks his swing, and it's 2-2. Dragons have now hit 15-10, but they've hit 3 home runs. Ball 3, so from 0-2 to full count. And if you really want to break down where the Dragon pitching staff is, it comes down to pitch execution on certain advantage pitches. That ball is hit well toward the left center field foul pole, and it gets out of here. Pitch up in the zone, and it left the yards in left field very quickly. Home run for Chalker. So it's a home run for Go to make it 14-10. One out in the inning, base is empty. The solo home runs aren't going to hurt you yet. But now it's back to the top of the order and strike one to Bethea. One the count now. Second home run of the game in the series for Butler. Striking, it's 1-2. So Lane's ahead in the count once again. It's gone full on the first two batters of the inning, got a strikeout, and then gave up a home run. Swing and a miss. 2 strikeouts in the inning, and the Grizzlies down to their final out. Here's Keon Givens, 3 for 4 with 3 singles. It was Garrett Chalker's second home run of the year. That's what I was looking for. Inside ball 1. Not a safe situation for Dayton Lane. Ball 2. The one good thing, if Givens reaches, Javier Pena is no longer in the game. This pinch ran for. High fly ball to center. Drifting back is Brock Schaefer at the track. He makes the catch. And that's the ball game. Hutchinson wins the opener by the football score of 14-10. Combined 24 runs, a combined 26 hits, and a combined 8 errors in this one. We'll wrap up game number 1 after this quick break. This is Blue Dragon Baseball. Welcome back to Hobart-Detter Field. Game 1 of final. Hutchinson defeats Butler 14-10 in this first of 4 between the two teams. Second game coming up in about 25 minutes. The final 2 will be in El Dorado on Saturday. Logan Sartori ties the single game record with 7 RBIs in one game.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that.
He had quite a day, but first let's get to the totals. For the victorious Blue Dragons, 14 runs, 10 hits, 5 errors, 4 left on base. For the Grizzlies, 10 runs, 16 hits, 3 errors, 7 left on base. Winning pitcher, Mason Palmieri, he improves to 2-1. Zach Billick takes the loss. He's 2-2. And time of ball game, 2 hours and 11 minutes. We talked about Logan Sartori. 3 for 3, 2 doubles, a 3-run home run, 7 RBIs. He becomes the 4th Blue Dragon to have 7 RBIs in the game. That ties a single-game record. That was one day after Riley Metzger's 6 RBIs. So the Dragons hanging runs at right now a record pace. They scored 28 yesterday and 14 here in game number 1. They gave up 24 yesterday and gave up 10 here in game number 2. The wind's blowing out, but it's not having near the effect, unless it's a mental thing with the pitchers that they're trying to be too fine and leaving things up. That is a definite possibility. But right now, Hobart-Detter Field giving up runs at an entirely crazy pace. Real quickly, the box score for the Blue Dragons. Again, Sartori 3 for 3 with 7 RBIs. Bobby Morganson had a home run. He was 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Garrett Stevens 3 for 4 with a home run, 3 RBIs. Mason Palmier battled. 5 in the third innings pitched. He allowed season highs of 14 hits, 9 runs. Only 2 of those runs earned as the Dragons committed 5 errors. He struck out 7 and walked none. Starting pitcher for the Grizzlies, Zach Billick, goes to 2-2. 4 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 11 runs, 9 earned. He walked 6 and only struck out 2 and allowed 3 wild pitches. So the Dragons get the series opener. And now they will send Zach Hopkins to the mound. Or Matt Hopkins to the mound in game number 2 as they try to go to get the first 2 games of this series with the first place Butler Grizzlies. We'll get you all wrapped up or caught up once we return. Again, you'll have to switch links. Final score of game number 1, Dragons 14, Grizzlies 10. On behalf of Brandon Sams and the entire staff here at Hobart-Detter Field, Steve Carpenter from Hobart-Detter saying so long. We'll see you in about 20 minutes. Again, change the league's final score, Dragons 14 and the Grizzlies 10. Until then, so long, everybody.